Thirsty Thursday Grand Final edition. As always, left flank, Brendan Bradford. Thanks for coming.
Good to be here.
Check out old mate, boom rookie, Ed Chisholm.
How is he?
Joining us all.
Called up for the Grand Final edition.
Yeah, I know.
So we're going to do things a little bit differently today. We thought we'd just do a Grand Final preview with the most rugby league of questions. But before then, crack into a beer.
Beer. What have we got today?
Ooh. So, listen to that. Perfect. Ed, you're 18, yeah?
Just.
Okay. So today we're drinking the Flamin' Galah. That's the brewery. We're drinking the Cosmos IPA. So Flamin' Galah, good fact. Homebrewers, 2017. Just started brewing out of a shed in their backyard. And then 2019, the week before lockdown starts, I thought, let's open a brew pub. Not the best timing I've ever heard of, but not bad.
How to be in lockdown just at your own brewery?
Yeah.
I'd love it.
Probably put on a few kegs, I reckon.
Yeah.
2, 3,
Worth it.
4, 500. So typical West Coast IPA. Let's look at the action. About 1.6 standard drinks, 5.4 alcohol volume. Ed, can you taste the Columbus, the Galaxy, or the Centennial hops the most?
All of it and more.
And more?
Yeah.
Really?
As a hop enthusiast myself, definitely tasting the Cosmos.
Now that we're back in IPA business after that sour debacle, we like that. We like IPAs. What about you? What are you into?
A big IPA fan. I love my Belgian style beers, so love a wheat beer, love a white ale.
Okay.
Some of those banana notes, nice and refreshing.
Beers you typically get at stadiums?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Known for their wheat beers?
Love the booze.
One of the great beers.
Yeah,
one of the great
exactly.
wheat beers.
I like this. I don't mind it.
No, I like it. I'm just trying to sort of get the flavours, I guess. It does have this refreshing kind of, the first notes are quite refreshing and then it's got this bite at the end.
Grapefruit.
Nice.
Sort of like borderline aggressive, but I like that aggression. Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to be. You've got to be aggressive. Footy talk. Shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get down to it. Footy chat. So rules are pretty simple. I'll say a bunch of statements, and you, because you're former rugby league players, either say yeah, nah, back it up with a little bit.
Easy.
Seem fair?
Yeah.
Bit of credit to the boys.
We'll start with you, PV.
All right.
Win it in the second half. Melbourne Storm will win the 2020 Premiership.
No. Penrith Panthers are going to continue their win streak. I'm sticking with the youth. I think I saw a headline, I can't remember where it was this week. All they've known is winning, these guys. I don't think the occasion is going to get to them. I also think they were pretty poor last week against Souths. And I sort of think that they've got their bad game, they've got their bad performance out of the way. And I think they're going to roll on to the Premiership.
All good points. Tedrick Lee?
I'm with BB. I really think Penrith are going to go on with it. I just think the big stage really actually suits how they play. They're a very enthusiastic, energetic bunch, and they really just back themselves. That's how they've gotten this far, and I just feel like they're going to go on with it. I also feel like Melbourne might have played their grand final last week against Canberra. They came out so enthusiastic and confident in that game, and put a massive score on Canberra. And I feel like that might have been the big occasion. Also, the Cameron Smith send-off I think was just such a big moment for them. I think there might be a bit of a
hangover of sorts?
A relapse after that, yeah,
Ooh,
potentially.
Relapse. Well then, riddle me this, smart guy. The weather will play a huge part in determining who wins on the weekend. Yeah? Nah? Maybe?
Nah, I don't think so. I think Melbourne are a grinding side. They like to grind out wins. They're not an expansive team in attack. And I think Penrith can play that way as well. So if Melbourne want to play that style of game, Penrith can match it. I think they showed last week against South Sydney, when it got down to the grind, they were more than willing to be in that kind of contest. But if the game opens up, they can play that way as well. Whereas I don't know if Melbourne have those sort of two dimensions. I think they really like to just grind teams down, especially in grand finals. So that's where I'm going.
I think Scott Sattler said pretty much that about 2 weeks ago when we spoke to him.
Plagiarism.
And I agree. Yeah, I agree.
You said
I think
de-risk?
Penrith have more ways to win.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Melbourne are very good at what they do, but they're very good at what they do. And maybe if it doesn't work out, we've seen it a couple of times this year. Plan B isn't like there's a big gap between Plan A and sort of Plan B and C. And I think Penrith have more ways to win. I don't think the rain will be too much of a factor.
Okay. It's interesting you say that about last week, especially with Penrith. I mean, you think they completed at like 72%. Like for them, pretty poor. They've always won possession. They've always run running meters. I think they only had like 40 or 45% of the ball, and they've still got it done. So I'll be interested to see what happens.
They left maybe at least 2 tries, maybe 12
They've
or 14.
dead set tries.
Yeah.
Catch the ball, walk across the line.
And still won.
Yeah.
They were down in week 1 of the finals. They were down big time. Didn't stress about it. Like they're not gonna go behind by say 6 or 8 points and start freaking out. They've been there before. They've come back before.
Okay. Api Coruscant has a bad game. Penrith will lose. Yeah? No?
Potentially, yeah, I feel like. I feel like there's actually a lot of pressure on Api Coruscant to perform really well in this grand final, just because I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Jerome Luai, particularly Jerome Luai and Nathan Cleary, just with the way they've played this year. Which I think means Api Coruscant will really have to sort of take the game on his shoulders and carry the team through the middle. So if Cameron Smith sort of nullifies him in defence, then I feel like Penrith are going to be without another answer. So if Melbourne successfully shut down the 2 halves and then Api has a bad game, then they're sort of out of answers, I think.
So if Melbourne shut down the entire Penrith spine.
Yeah, pretty much.
You are good.
Yeah.
What about you, mate?
I think that's a tough ask. Yeah, like you say, can you shut down Luai, Cleary and Api Coruscant? Like if Coruscant has a bad game, I still think there's enough in this Penrith side, whether it's Kikau, whether it's Crichton, or Mansour, I still think there's more guys that'll be able to pick up the ball. If Api Coruscant plays well, game changer. If he's off, if he's a bit average or shut down, Penrith can still win. So I think no to your question.
Okay, yeah, good. I can get that. Let's assume the worst happens for someone like me, a filthy bandwagon fan for the Melbourne Storm. Melbourne lose, Cameron Smith retires. Is the Storm's premiership window, is it closed?
No.
Yeah.
Nah. Those guys have got covered. Pappenhausen. I don't know who's staying or who's going next year at hooker. If Harry Grant goes back, Jerome Hughes, mate, they've got talent to burn.
Brenko Lee,
Origin representative.
Brenko Lee will play Origin and I will eat my words, but that's fine. What about you?
No, definitely not. Yeah, I mean, just Harry Grant comes to the club. I'm sure they'll be able to convince Brandon Smith to play at lock. So they've got Harry Grant and Brandon Smith at lock. They've got that massive forward pack. They've got an amazing back line. Jerome Hughes is just coming into his own as a player. Rowan Pappenhausen, Cameron Munt, like they've just got so many big names still. And yeah, I think ask the same question in 12 months when Craig Bellamy potentially leaves. I think that's the main question. I think next year they'll still be, definitely a premiership threat, but I think that's sort of the main question there. But no, if Cam Smith retires at the end of this year, I still think Melbourne are the powerhouse that they always have been.
Brendan Bradford, the stats tell a pretty definitive story, but is there going to be a player outside the spine from either side which is going to win the Clive Churchill?
No.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
No,
Moving on.
Just never is. Well, maybe twice in the last 10 years?
Yeah, and you look at 2016, had Luke Lewis, who was a ball playing back.
Yeah, that's it.
Which kind of is a little bit cheating. Sam Burgess, 2014, kind of.
The only player I can look at and think maybe is Viliame Kikau.
Yeah,
so he's just that impactful.
I like it.
But no, it'll be one of the spine from either team.
Contradict him, Ed. Do it. I dare you.
I keep having visions of James Fisher-Harris up on the podium, giving the speech. I don't know. Like, did Clive Churchill even give a speech? I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like he has been so good this year, James Fisher-Harris. And I just feel like the forward battle on Sunday is just going to be immense. And I feel like a player like James Fisher-Harris is really going to be intent on imposing himself on guys like Tino and Nelson and Bromwich. So yeah, I feel like if it's someone from Penrith outside the spine, he's most likely, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, looking back on all the years, it's pretty unlikely that it's going to be anyone outside the spine.
Sounds like a yeah to me, so...
Yes, take it.
Yeah, all right, let's get it. One more. It's happened. Melbourne, they win, as I predicted.
Okay.
Is that it for the Panthers? Is it 2020 or bust?
Yes. I'm going yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
No one expected anything of the Panthers this year. Yeah. Look, you look at the odds at the start of the year, the Broncos and the Tigers, I think, were both shorter price than there was no pressure. And they've won the minor premiership. They're still outsiders. Like, there's just no expectations. There's been no expectations. They go into next year, win or lose on Sunday. There's pressure, there's expectation. James Tamo's leaving. I just don't think the vibe will be the same.
Okay.
I think it's this year, or if they don't win this year, they're going to need not a rebuild, but a
They're not dropping out of the 8, but they're not.
I don't think they'll go all the way.
Okay.
Love the mention of vibe there. It's good.
Yeah or nah?
I'm going to say no, they don't bust. But I feel like next year they won't be as good as they were this year. But I don't think that necessarily means they'll bust. I think Penrith will be up the top for the next few years, just given the age of their side on average. But I think if they lose against Melbourne, having won 17 games in a row before the grand final, next year, as BB alluded to, there's going to be so much pressure on them and so much more expectation than what they went into with this year, that next year might be a little bit leaner. But I still think they're going to be a really, really good team for a while now.
I'm interested to see how it goes. Like, you look at them right now, and they're just having the absolute best time.
Yeah.
It's like they're on, summer holidays, everything's going right. That feeling never lasts.
Yeah.
I mean, just like once there is that one setback, I'm interested to see how it goes.
The honeymoon's over.
Yeah, no Trent Barrett. I'll be interested to see how that affects their attack.
They say how important he's been to them this year. I feel like people have spoken more about Trent Barrett than they've actually spoken about Ivan Cleary.
Trent Barrett's better looking.
Yeah.
There you've had it. You've heard from the Rugby League oracles. Huge shout out to the guys at East Village Hotel in Darlinghurst. They've had us for all episodes this year. It's been a huge help. And of course, the mask life. Can get them still. If you go into the grand final on Sunday, make sure you're wearing them. I think there's still advice for everyone to be wearing them. So if you've got your Panthers, or if you've got your Storm, and there'll be someone wearing a South one.
Of course.
No doubt.
Random
You know
South
it will
guy.
be. You just know it. All right, let's talk scores. Let's talk predictions.
Okay.
Who's going to win?
Penrith Panthers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I think they'll win. I'm backing the grand final trend. I think it's going to be high scoring. Yeah, 28-22. 28-22 in the wet.
yeah, I like it. Okay.
Back yourself.
And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Penrith
chuck it
Panthers,
on.
The weekly tradition.
Yep, beautiful.
Panthers.
Looking good. What about you, Ed?
Yeah, I'm back in Penrith. I reckon it's going to be a 20-16 scoreline. Melbourne with a bit of a late comeback, but not quite enough to beat them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my pick. Billy kick out a first try score as well.
I got Crichton
Ooh.
first
You
try.
reckon?
I like both of them. Incorrect, but I like them.
Both
Storm
left side?
12-10, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. Remember, there is no public holiday on Monday, so go hard, but go early. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.